Oh my goodness. Tanzania, Ghana, and Zimbabwe are moving towards local refineries. In fact, they're demanding that their gold is made in their respective countries. And if you think money is made in the West, you are decades behind. If you think the US dollar is always going to be the dominant currency, which is backed by literally nothing but goodwill and intentions, listen. You're going to want to listen until the end of this video because these African gold refineries are going to come out on top in 2025 and beyond. Just look at Ghana right now. Ghana is the best performing currency of 2025. And many people see like, oh, the Ghanaian currency is becoming more competitive. Well, if it's too expensive. But this is a benefit for the African diaspora and our continental brothers and sisters. Because when you come into a market that is able to replicate and to trade with you about on the same trade level, you have more access to opportunities. You can do better business there. I think we're also going to start to see corruption decline in these areas, okay? Because this isn't just about economics. It's about power, sovereignty, and repositioning wealth for Africa and her diaspora. Listen, here's what Tanzania just did, if you did not know. Tanzania decided that they are going to process 20%. It's a 20% mandate to process their gold in Tanzania in the new Nyanzaga mine, okay? They're saying we're tired of Western refineries. We're tired of depending on the West. Those price takers, they're just basically pillaging their gold. But listen, I also want you to think about how Africa is such a resource-rich continent. Tanzania has Tanzanite gold, Botswana has diamonds, Ghana has gold. I want you to think back to some of these ancient empires. The Swahili Kingdom, the Songhai Empire, the Mali Empire. These were the world's leading empires in what they like to call the Dark Ages, which was really the age when Africa was in its prime, when Africa was in its renaissance, from 1200, even a little bit before then, but from about 1200 to the 1400s, okay? This is when Africa was in its prime. Gold throughout the Gold Coast, from basically the four corners of Africa, okay? From the north to the south, the east, the west, trade was taking place. And like I just said, Tanzania itself has its own resource that nobody else has on earth. Tanzanite. It's a beautiful blue emerald. And if you're new here, you may not know we used to live in Tanzania. And so we know a little bit about these jewels and about these pieces that they have in that country. But what's even more interesting, to me at least, is how quickly Ghana was able to increase their dollar or increase their cedi when they decided to start creating their own gold in their own country, okay? That was a game changer for real. That was something that really just edged them up because a lot of people don't understand how global economics play a big part in these countries being able to fund their own lifestyles, being self-reliant, being able to not respond and rely on the West as much. But it just takes one flick of the switch, one flick. The only thing that's needed is for these resourceful countries to say, okay, we're going to produce our gold in-house. We're going to produce our diamonds in-house. We're going to produce our tanzanites in-house. That changes the entire economy. It brings jobs. It brings investors. And it cripples the West, okay? Let's just be honest. It literally cripples the West. Now, Ghana and Zimbabwe are also talking about their gold. Ghana talks of their smelters, local trading regimes, and premium retention goals to bring investors and to export their gold to other countries. Because here's the thing, them buying back their own gold and having their own gold and not outsourcing it does not mean that they don't want investors to come, does not mean that they don't want to export it, but they want to be in control. It's just like, you know what this comparison is similar to? You working a W-2 for your employer versus you running your own business, using your unique and divine skill set, optimizing it, up-leveling it, and then packaging it in a phenomenal way, which brings us to Black Educators Amplified, which is our 12-week accelerator. If you are interested in becoming an entrepreneur, or you already are an entrepreneur, but like some of these countries, you don't know how to bring your product to market, you want to check out the enrollment guide, okay, at the link in the description. But it's so similar because it's basically like, hey, you have these divine skill sets. Everybody has a measure of faith, a measure of talents that they have been given. But when you work a W-2 job, usually you're not optimizing that. You're not operating in that. And so it just goes to waste. And that employer, AKA Western countries, right? That master ends up profiting off your gift more than what you could have done. But here's the caveat. Obviously, this takes work to mine gold. Tanzania knows that. Ghana knows that. Zimbabwe knows that. Burkina Faso knows that. And they're ready to put the boots on the ground, open the refineries, and have people work. Because here's the thing that they typically say about W-2. Well, oh, it's just easier. So just get a W-2, right? Isn't that like the same thing they would say about mining gold and mining tanzanite and mining cobalt and mining diamonds? Oh, let Western countries do it. It's easier. You don't have the capabilities, right? Nonsense. Over on this side of the continent, entrepreneurship is rampant. Entrepreneurship is on the up and up, and it always has been, and it always will be, okay? And I just had to bring out that analogy because that was too good. That was like exactly the parallel analogy that you need to understand when it comes to being self-reliant, because on this channel, Journey With Us, we are all about being self-reliant, having alternative investments. Now, my husband and I are investors. We invest in gold, we invest in AVGO, we invest in XRP, HBAR, XLM, we invest somewhat in silver, we trade sometimes, and so we pay attention to different markets. And let me tell you, these gold prices are going to increase like crazy, not just because the war that's happening. Whenever war happens in the world, gold prices shoot up, but also because it's going to be more pricey for the West to extract that gold, because they're not going to be able to extract it anymore. It's going to be refined in Tanzania, Ghana, Zimbabwe, Burkina Faso, Mali, Niger, right? These are some of the themes that are coming up. And so these pricing models are going to impact Africa so good. I'm excited. It's a good era to be on the continent. It's an excellent era because finally, Africans get to benefit from their own resources instead of having their colonizer daddy that's in this country far away, all the way up in North England or France, wherever in America, just raping and pillaging their resources, right? And I use that word very strategically because essentially that's what it is. Like, we need to use very colorful language to get this across because this is such a serious thing. But I'm so thankful that Tanzania is doing this. I'm so thankful that Ghana and Zimbabwe are doing this, and I expect to see more countries doing it. I know Botswana had already said that they're going to mine their own diamonds. Like, when they put their diamonds on the market, you're gonna have to buy them from Botswana. You want Botswana diamonds? You're gonna have to run yourself over to Botswana, have your Botswana contact, okay? Have your licensing, whatever's required, if you're gonna take Botswana stuff, okay? This leads to economic sovereignty, which turns gold deposits into economic infrastructure, okay? Now, this is what the West really fears. The loss of cheap raw commodities, a disruption in a multi-billion-dollar market, new African-dominated pricing models. I think what we're gonna see in the coming years is currencies. Already the Ghanaian cedi, the Tanzanian shilling, the Zimbabwe dollar, the Burkina Faso, whatever their currency is. These countries that decide to hone in on their natural resources are going to have their currency exchange matching the dollar because one, the dollar is falling and then Africa's rising. So they're gonna eventually match up and be equal to each other, which they should be in the first place, or Africa's currency should technically be stronger. Because what we're witnessing are the Dubais of Africa rising up, okay? This is huge. This is huge. Hit the like button, share, and subscribe. This is huge. This needs to reach the four corners. And you know, the West does not want you to think about this. The West does not want you to learn about economics, because once you learn about finance and economics, you are free. The only way that they really hold you captive is that you don't understand money and economics, right? Because the scriptures itself in Deuteronomy says that the borrower is slave to the lender. The borrower is slave to a lender, and you won't be a borrower forever if you have the right knowledge. So get this information out, disseminate this information in your WhatsApp chats, your Facebook chats, your Facebook profile, your, I don't know what other chats y'all have out there, shoot, Reddit, wherever. I don't care if y'all on Snapchat. Send this information out because Africa is rising, and I'm here for it. Y'all know I'm here for it. Y'all know Journey With Us is here for it because it looks like a brighter time for our children's children. It looks like, we have 5 children. We've had children birthed in Tanzania. We have contacts in Ghana. Don't know much about Zimbabwe, but it's like, wow, these things are really coming to pass. And it's a great time to get in on the growth. It's a great time to invest and put your money with some of these African refineries, to even visit them, right? That would be awesome to do like a field trip. I know we homeschool a lot, and so that's something that we could possibly do. But let's also talk about why the diaspora should care. Okay, this is an opportunity for the diaspora to invest in local refineries, boutique gold products. But the risk is that financial services in the West will surely lag behind, okay? This is Africa taking its economic destiny the way that it always had been and should be. It's just evening the playing field, essentially. Now, the spiritual and historical parallel is that from colonizers' times to African ownership of rich soils, this is spiritual reclamation, okay? This is a reclamation of our heritage, our inheritance, our identity, our jewels, our everything. Just like I told you the analogy about having a W-2 employer versus operating in your gifts, optimizing, refining it, perfecting your gift. This is exactly what that is. And if you want to build wealth, think upstream, think Africa. Again, share and spread this knowledge, and I'll see you in the next video. Shalom, shalom.